the question should be, what kind of masculinity is being rewarded in Jonasi's world? You know, a masculinity associated with multiple partners, because, you know, our brothers are raised, told, you need to, you know, share. Hello everybody and welcome to SA Sociology Hub. My name is Thandeka Sibanyoni, and in today's video I want to do a part 2 of the Netflix's show The Polygamist, right? And this is a book by the Zimbabwean author Sue Nyathi, who is an author and a finance professional. So in the previous video, I touched base on, like, is this actually a story about polygamy? Or is it revealing a family structure that we do not yet have a language or a name for in South Africa? I didn't want to delve too much into the whole, I like the title a lot, but I think I had to say it, right? The second thing is masculinity, right? Once we move beyond the question of polygamy, another question emerges. How does a man end up living a life like Jonasi's life? Like the life of Jonasi Begaipila. That man, Haibo, one answer is to say that he was simply selfish, right? But sociology encourages us to go deeper, because masculinity is not simply something men possess. So sociology teaches us that masculinity is socially constructed. So how a man sees himself in relation to himself as a man and in society is socially constructed. It was so funny that this man would cheat, hurt the wife, and then come back to say ukhule kanzima. Does ukukhula kanzima justify infidelity or lack of presence as a father? Because he just didn't have the time. He just came there to serve for his selfish desires to every woman, and then he would leave while the women were taking care of the children, right? Masculinity, like, so all in all, men learn what it means to be a man through family, through culture, through religion, peers, media, and society. They learn which behaviors are rewarded. They learn which behaviors are celebrated and which ones are tolerated. So let's talk about it. One of the most interesting characters for me was Jonasi's brother, Umagesh. For a long time, Umagesh appeared to be the one endorsing, cleaning up after Jonasi, not saying anything. He knew, he watched, he was also a role player in all of this. He tolerated everything that Jonasi did only because Jonasi had money, gave him a job, you know. And he only later said, stop. By then, the damage had already been done. And at what point does silence become complicity? We endorse things by keeping quiet. A lot of abuse in our society could, you know, decrease because of men standing up to other men, you know. So a lot of the behaviors, Jonasi's behavior, a lot of abuse in our society is often maintained by networks of men who excuse, who justify, and normalize or even ignore these behaviors. And so when a man cheats repeatedly and his friends or brothers or even like the family members laugh about it, that is social approval. You are whether you agree or not, you are part of it, you know. So when family members know but say nothing, that is social approval. And when communities treat it as normal, ukuthi nah, don't cry about a cheating man, all men do it, that is social approval, you know. And the issue is not only what one man does, the issue is what everyone else allows. So if you're just sitting on the sides looking at Jonasi do his thing, and you're just like, hey, what can we say? You are also part of the problem. The question should be, what kind of masculinity is being rewarded in Jonasi's world? You know, a masculinity associated with multiple partners, because, you know, our brothers are raised, told, you need to, you know, share, you know. A masculinity that is associated with fathering many children, you know. There's especially for us Africans, are like, oh, the more kids you have, the better, because ukhulisa isibongo, you know. A masculinity associated with power and control, because what we saw was how Jonasi was just appreciated and awarded for being the provider. He provided on a financial sense. Was he there? Like, was his character also providing safety? You know, safety as far as emotional safety, health-wise, because people ended up having gonorrhea and some had HIV, you know. So because at the end of the day, if society celebrates certain behaviors, we should not be surprised when people perform those behaviors. Jonasi got rewarded for being the smooth talker. He got rewarded for being the one that splashes money and spoils people. He could just take you to a holiday and everything would be fine. He'll give you money and you'll keep quiet. You'll be fine. He'll get you a new house and suddenly everything is okay. And that speaks to power, right? And how we navigate that. As always, thank you so much for watching SA Sociology Hub. I think I'm gonna do another review where I not just speak about masculinity and maybe the name. I'll now focus on the women and how women are not victims, not always victims in society. Have a lovely day. Bye.